Good evening and welcome to the Northeast Philly podcast, brought to you by Council of Dads Productions. It's draft night once again, and it's 80s night again. This time we are picking some totally bitchin' TV shows. Yes way. These are the choice shows that made us the bad to the bone dudes we are today. I pity the fool that misses this episode on Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Gentlemen, how you doing today? There's nothing scheduled today. Sorry.
I was looking really forward to that, and it did not disappoint, sir. Thank you very much. Bitching badasses. Doing great. How are you boys feeling? It's thank you very much to my buddy Matt for that intro. The our new intro to the show. That was very. I hit him up like 3 hours ago. I'm like, dude, I don't know anyone other than you who would be able to seriously throw this together in like this short amount of time. I'm about to ask for you to throw this together. And he's like, it's no big deal. Yeah, whatever. Da, da, da. It's like, anyone could do it. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I can't. Can you? And
Yeah.
he was like, sure. And that's what he sent us over. So I appreciate
That
thanks,
looked
Matt.
amazing. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it.
As you mentioned, we are in 80s TV night, which is I've really been looking forward to this one. We are going 7 rounds here with 3 honorable mentions at the end each. The only 2 rules that we set forth in our guidelines when picking shows were that no cartoons, because that will be a separate draft night. 80s cartoons, maybe we'll do all cartoons of all time. I think we can go 10 full rounds with that. I think having kids, I think I could even pick some bangers cartoons that have been done in the last 10 years that are amazing. I mean,
Oh yeah.
how many times I could tell you how many times I've watched Gravity Falls over and over again.
Oh no.
So good.
I mean, there's definitely some good cartoons the last few years. So
Yeah. And they're really smart, and kids either get it or don't. I don't care, but I laugh my ass off at them. So 7 rounds, 3 honorable mentions. We already said that. No cartoons, but production must have started in the 1980s. Okay. So things like Saturday Night Live, while it ran through the 80s, is not an 80s show. We would consider that as a 70s based show. You can't pick The Simpsons. It did start in the 80s, but it's a cartoon. So even though it's a nighttime cartoon, I'm still going to lump it in there. Hold on, judges?
still a cartoon.
Still a cartoon. Okay. All right, we are going to pull up the wheel here because we do not have our draft order for the night. So let's pull up the Wheel o' Fun. Let's see. Let's just give it a spin and see what happens here. Bing. Oh, look at that. Really does work. All right. Son of a bitch. Oh God. All right. Fuzzy is in the lead spot. Let's see. We're gonna remove you off of that. It's between second. Doesn't fucking matter. All right. Here we go. Spinny the wheelie. Fuzzy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We just might as well make this a forever order. This I will never. Okay. And let's see. All right. Let's spin this.
Please.
Fingers crossed.
Ooh.
It's not even going to land on JV.
I might even get the full dollar.
Oh my God!
That was the 5 cent before the dollar.
All right, very nice. So we have our pecking order here.
Listen,
Matt,
before we get,
thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate you. I do for hooking us up with that. Thanks for joining us tonight. stay along. You know your pop culture actually very well, so I would like your feedback, and I'm sure you will trash us in any complete way that we deserve it. So, yeah, stay tuned. Michael Dunbar saying he's too young for the eight. No, come on, man. He's
The dude hasn't. The dude hasn't had a hair since the '90s, so I'm pretty sure he's old enough to remember the '80s.
I respect it. His logo there is from YouTube. Is that Ark from the game, the video game? That's,
Probably.
yeah, I see that, and I must have said something funny because you sure as shit didn't. You too.
No, that's my buddy Dave. Yeah, I used to work with him on Roger Wilco. We call him.
Starsky.
Yes.
He worked for me at a mountain warehouse. I know.
Yes, you did. Yeah, we worked with me and him worked together. And we worked with another guy. He was friends with Hutch, and so we just called him Starsky and Hutch, and it just stuck.
You're old, dude. You really are. It's not how, like, the fact is, like, I'm almost certain on your list you've got things like those the evenings, like Dallas, and you were probably invested in Who Shot JR and all that stuff. I remember that as kids. Was that like a big? It was a big. We talked about it in school, but we didn't know what we were talking about. Did you?
Dude, I don't know.
Was that like topic? Like, oh, do you know Who Shot JR?
No, I was watching Dynasty. No.
Dynasty.
That was like Bloods in the Crips. You either watch Dallas or you watch Dynasty, and they were ready to rumble, Jets and Sharks style. They were ready to go.
They were like this.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I watched either one of those. I knew obviously I know the pop culture behind them and how popular they were, but those weren't my alley here. So,
well,
all right,
before we get started, let me say, if one of you assholes picks my number one, I am going to come to your house and dig out your hearts with a plastic spork and feed it to your misgendered cats for breakfast. I'm serious about my number one. It better not come out of either of your mouths.
Listen, as much as I want to pick it, you know, I just want to do it. I want to do it out of. I already told Keith what your number one pick is, but my number one.
Hold on, you didn't have to tell me anything first.
No, I know.
Okay,
right.
Sir, you can have it. It's fine. It is also mine, of course. But you can have it. Okay.
All right.
All right. Go ahead, Fuzz. Open us up. Hold on. Let's get serious here.
All right, my number one thing, and I actually started rewatching it during COVID because it was it came back. I don't know if it was on, but one of the scenes came on Facebook about a guy getting a job at a power plant or something, and one of the most famous, I guess, not actor, but characters who's always got a comment. Norm, gentlemen, start your tabs. Cheers.
Burrows, right?
Good.
James Burrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers is. Listen, I was 5 when Cheers came out, so I didn't really watch it. Obviously growing up until probably like 87, 88. And then I think it ended in 92. It was it was a good show. Like it had, hey, listen, that coach who, led the league in getting hit by pitches in the head so many times. And then, they had to replace him because he died in real life in the middle of the season.
What was that one line that I'll never forget? And he picks up the phone. They go, hello. He goes, is so-and-so there? And he goes, hold on a minute. He goes,
yeah,
so-and-so here? I forget his name. And he goes, coach, that's you. He goes, yeah, speaking.
Yes.
Because he's been hit in the head so many times. Cheers is great. Cheers, really good storylines. I thought they were going to lose it when they lost Shelley Long. It was always on my house. Like, my parents loved it. there was that there was like that moment. You're right. It's hard to replace Coach, and Matt's bringing it up because this is very hard to do to replace a character on a sitcom, and Woody being so like same archetype, just younger, and he's gonna last, and he's gonna live, but they gave him the same mentality behind Coach, the same spirit of Coach, and it still worked. That was a really good show. It's on my list.
Yeah,
Well
I
done.
mean, listen, it had to be on everyone's list, and if it wasn't, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
I
You should be
mean,
done. Right.
So
right? It was such, like you said, it was well written. You thought it was going to go, as they say in the '70s, when Fonzie jumped the shark, you would have thought it would have went there. It never really did.
No,
The
they had
whole
to replace characters. They added some characters, but they always had kind of like a point, or they were good to the story. I really appreciated the show. Really good characters,
and
charming
that
characters.
that replacement of characters, like it works because that's what happens in your neighborhood bar. People move away, they get new jobs, they go to AA meetings, whatever,
Yep.
and it's just kind of that rotating thing. And Coach's real quote unquote real name, the character real name, was Ernie
Ernie.
Pantuso.
Ernie Pantuso. That's you, Coach. Speaking. That's it.
Yeah.
Great line. Very good one. All right, so let's move on.
and that had a spin-off of Frasier.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. Here we go with the number 2 pick. I'm just gonna go with it because, man, if this just was not the show to talk about on the next day after, it had a cool crossover when I was a kid with another one of my favorite shows. Every season got more outlandish and ridiculous with what happened, but it was told like a soap opera, but it was cool and actiony. And of course, I'm talking about Michael Knight Rider. It like I said, it had a lot of elements. It had everyone wanted to be the Hasselhoff. They wanted that car. They wanted cruise. It was so stupid when it got the convertible mode, but I loved it. Car. Yeah, talking into your
Always.
wrist. What?
And I love that Mythbusters did a thing where like some of the stuff they proved that it could happen, like the tailgate, the door opening from the tractor trailer and driving up in there. Like, can you really do that
You
at
can.
highway speeds? And they proved that you could.
You can.
Yeah, I
You
was
can.
actually kind of shocked by that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great show, and I definitely wanted. I had a '87 Renault Alliance was my first car, and I even wanted to get the red thing going across the front of it, the red lights. Yeah,
Right.
my car sounded like that just because I couldn't close the windows.
I think everyone's first car sounded like.
Yeah.
All right, so that leaves us into our last pick of the first round.
Right. And it's obvious. You two knew what it was because you were at my wedding. The theme song was in my wedding. I have the T-shirt. Pretty sure I had pajama pants at one point with them on it.
I already have it written down, buddy.
Old lady, yeah, my old lady crushes the Golden Girls. Number 1 pick, greatest show ever. I love it.
I'll give you this. It's better than Jingle All the Way.
Here's one of those things about the Golden Girls. I can pick up from any episode. I will always watch it if it's on. There are so many damn zingers in it. Those girls, they really laid the comedy down. Sometimes someone else was the straight person, the straight line. I know everyone wants to say the she took the pratfall. That was Estelle Getty, but without Maude, that show's not happening.
Yeah.
Without B. Arthur, that show's not happening.
Right.
She literally she
had some of the driest, best one-liners. Like some of the things, and she would throw them at Rose and Blanche and even to Ma. Like it was insane.
And she didn't mind being also like the butt of it, right?
Right.
She loved that too. So yeah,
Yeah.
great pick, dude. Great show.
Thank
Great
you.
show. You
And I don't
take
have to
us
cut
off.
anybody's hearts out.
No, that's fine, dude. I actually it would have been my first, but I'm very happy with Knight Rider. I am not mad. And
Right.
Cheers, I'm sure, is definitely Fuzzy's
Oh
favorite.
yeah,
So
definitely
you,
a 1A thing for all of us on that one.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that should have been on all of our lists. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
Um
Uh,
if anyone has another number one round pick, throw it in the chat. We got quite a few listeners. We got some chats coming in. Michael Dunn, he said, I guess I'll be there soon. Soon enough. 90 shows. We love 90 shows. We trust me. Grew up on those too. So
oh yeah.
formative years of 90s. We will definitely have a 90s movie draft on the show. I'm hoping, Matt, is this your number one that you suggested? Are you suggesting your number one would have been Miami Vice? I don't know if I did watch it, but I didn't. My parents watched it. They loved it. They
Right. I
loved
think
it.
everybody's mom in the '80s loved Don Johnson. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's his so I mean so he's saying maybe his number one drama. Okay. I don't think I put 3 or 4 maybe 5 things on here that would be considered dramas that I know might get taken, but I'd still take. And not one of them is Miami Vice, but
No, it is, and I mean I don't have them on
that didn't
there,
even.
and I can guarantee, and if it's on there and I name it, that's fine. But if I'm picking dramas, Miami Vice isn't one of them. You would either go China Beach or 30 something before Miami Vice. If you're for drama, out of that, I think Miami Vice is more action than anything.
weren't they 90s? Was 30 something 80s? I didn't
30
get into
something.
30 something. Yeah, I didn't get into it. I
Oh,
was I was I was 8 something. 8 years old something. I'm not relating to 30 something. This one's a good one. We did Legends of the Hidden Temple. I would have put up Funhouse on there. If we're going game shows though. If we were going game shows in the 80s, I'd say Funhouse, right? JD Drew.
Yeah.
That was a really cool one.
I don't. I don't remember Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, you're not. That might have been 90s actually.
I
That might
think
have
it
been a later
does.
one. Yeah, it might have been a later one.
All right, Jeremy,
All right,
you're
so
on the
here we
clock.
go. Here's Delaney. Let's get Delaney's number one up. This is his number one. And then we'll get you back up on the board. This is Delaney's number one. Not a bad pick.
Nah.
Not a bad pick. Winnie Cooper. Not a bad pick, bro. Okay. All right. Let's get you back at round 2. Pick one.
All right. So I definitely was picking some shows that were fun to watch. I think this is one of the ones that I definitely had fun with. I bought some of the merch from it, including the giant, almost life-size stuffed animal. For me, it was the
Oh,
alien life form, Alf.
from Planet Melmac.
Yep.
Hey, I'm Wayne Schlegel.
Watch out for your cat. Yeah.
Wayne
So-
Schlegel.
So, Alf is a good pick. I liked it.
Family
Keith.
night.
Keith,
Yeah.
what was that thing? What was the streaming service that you and your brother let me use? I forget what it was, but he put Alf on there, and Peyton watched it from beginning to end, and she hated the ending. That's how she was able to watch Alf.
Not a very good not a very good. I think by the end, I think the story of the show goes that by the end the entire cast may have hated each other if I recall reading correctly, and
Yeah.
but it was very miserable to
They were
shoot
definitely
that.
ready to get off. Yeah.
Well, apparently everything was produced on like 10-foot stage, like elevated in the air, so the puppeteers could operate Alf underneath. And so, you'd be on heights all day. You'd be you wouldn't be on the ground. So like, for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, I can understand how eventually you'd really hate that. Not like I said, not a bad. That was a very good. Me and my sister watched that all the time. I think all three of the kids. We sat down. Maybe it was Monday nights. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. Let me get myself on the clock. I'm taking this one because, by God, was it good? It had some great actors on it. Everyone knew their role, did it right. Sometimes you were the star of the show, sometimes you weren't, depending on what the writers had in store for you. This was a spin-off show, actually, I believe. I do believe this was a spin-off show. Let's see if you know what it's got spun off of. I'm going with Night Court.
Mm-hmm.
Night Court.
That's a good pick. It's on my list.
So, one of those things was it was nice finally seeing kind of someone in power who was silly but a nice dude, and he was really trying to. It was very heartfelt and warming at times. Funny as hell, crazy characters. And it didn't. As a kid, I could understand it. I laughed. I liked it. Now there were some things I laughed at, didn't quite understand, and years later, I'm like, oh my god, this is pretty. That's crazy shit happens in Night Court. So
Yeah.
I picked that one, and
It's a good
Night
pick.
Rider, Night Court.
Oh.
Yeah. So that is a good one. I do like Night Court. It's actually on IFC now, so I watch it when it comes on.
Yeah, that's another one where you can just pick up from anywhere. It's always a good one. Okay, so we got it. I asked you if you guys knew what it was a spinoff.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was a spinoff.
It absolutely was a spinoff of Cheers. Harry Stone was a character from Cheers that he came in. He was more of a swindler character, but
I don't think that was Harry Stone.
It is. It's supposed to be Harry Stone in like some capacity.
Okay, because I know what the one you're talking about with the drink and the 10 cents and everything else.
Yeah. But he is. Yeah, it's considered a spin-off of that show. His character. All right, let's get you, JV. No, I'm sorry.
You're going the wrong way, bro.
I'm sorry. It says F. F. I'm sorry. F. Fuzzy.
So I had to look this up. I mean, I didn't know if it was 80s, and then I realized it really wasn't. So it wasn't what I was. But this is just, I'm just mentioning this because it's not my pick right now. But Taxi with Christopher Lloyd. It's not the 70s, but I was just thinking about it, like when he's taking the test and the answer's like slower and he repeats it.
Yes.
But
a yellow light mean.
But my pick, because it just popped in my head, that scene, and I was like, I had to look it up real quick. My next show, best TV dad in the history of the 80s, was phenomenal. Ran for 10 years, scored 4 touchdowns in a football game.
Okay.
Is married with children.
Yes.
It's on Cozy right now, and I love watching it. It's
love and marriage.
It's so inappropriate for the 90s that they didn't know how they didn't know how to act. Like, people were losing their minds. Like,
great show.
It's so good. I mean,
great show.
But yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite shows. And I mean, one of my all-time favorite shows. I can't. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite character, like his thing is like he hated his job. He let everyone know it. He hated the customers. They always complained. He always came at their necks. It was it's and here you go. You got David Faustino, right? Christina Applegate, who was every dude's dream. Like they loved, right? Kelly Bundy. Hell, everyone loved Peggy Bundy.
Yeah.
It's the way we are meant to remember Christina Applegate on
Yes.
this blessed day. Oh man. That's a good one, man. You come back, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go from my comedies to I want to say action, but uh, I love the theme song. I love the black machine that they drive. You know, I love Airwolf.
I know.
That's not
know
where I
you
thought
do.
you were going with it.
I know.
I know.
It was
I
on my
know what
list,
you
but-
thought. I knew where he was going only because he has talked about this on several
Oh yeah.
occasions. He's cuckoo for this show.
I don't know. Like growing up, it was so cool. I was 10 years old,
I hear
and
you.
it was in syndication. I think it came on, and then I think the Fall Guy came on afterward. Like there's like so cool. Like come on, man. Yeah, it's kind of like why I did the black. That's why I did the black machine.
Yeah.
Matt, because
Throw it off a
I
little
wanted to
bit.
throw everyone off. But yeah, Airwolf's so cool, and the video game was even cooler. Your turn.
I really stayed with things that made me very fond of the 80s. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I apologize. And I decided to go with, again, things that still had rewatchability to me today. Still, if I could throw it on, would I still tolerate it? Would I still chuckle at it? Would I still feel emotionally connected to it? Like there are a lot of bangers out there for me. I'm pre-production. We talked about. Can I throw the name of the show that we talked to pre-production? It doesn't matter. What's happening now? Like a great 80s show. It literally is one of those I did run home to watch, or I did watch, and I made sure oh my God, it's coming back out because I love the 70s when it was in syndication, and I found, and I did watch it. I just didn't, it wasn't as good as the original. So like I have to remember things that were as good as the original. Could I rewatch it? Did I still have enjoyability? And I said yes to this show. Because I picked it up during the pandemic again, and it was still pretty funny. And it's Bosom Buddies. It's so stupid, so ridiculous. The concept is, how can no one tell that these two dudes are right? They're doing like it's like a whole Tootsie premise. Love it. I watched it. I started watching it as kind of like as a joke, and I finished the entire series again. I think it was on for 3 or 4 seasons, whatever, 3 or 4 seasons of just them acting like females so they can get cheap boarding. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think, obviously you have Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari. I think that's how you say his name.
Scolari, yeah.
But you also have the mom from Two and a Half Men plays their boss.
Yep. Jessica. Is that her? No. What's her name? She's so good. The whole show itself, again, is ridiculous in premise. It
Yeah.
is not good at all. I know it's ridiculous.
And Billy Joel sung the song, the opening song.
Yeah, and I don't like Billy Joel, but that's not it. It's just I love the Bosom Buddies.
You don't like Billy Joel?
No,
Jesus.
no, with that.
How-
That's not
How
like
are
I
you
don't.
friends?
He doesn't like Jesus either. So, anyway.
That's true.
It was a wild party. Things got out of hand. All right, so take us into the third pick of the third round, sir.
All right. So mine is, again, like you, just something that made me feel good and I enjoyed. And I had a crush on the daughter in the show. I think a lot of people did in the 80s. Samantha, who's the boss.
Angela, Samantha.
I was not a fan of that show. I mean, I watched it.
Everyone did.
I think I watched it because, like, especially for me in the 80s, it was things that didn't have big, long running stories. Like, especially now what today has. Like, you can't miss an episode. If I was outside playing one week, I could go back in and watch Who's the Boss the next week and not really miss anything. There was little storylines that ran through, but not huge.
Mona. Mona. She took no shit, that lady. She really didn't.
She was great in A Lady in White.
Yeah, not bad, dude. So you took yourself Who's the Boss?
Oh, yeah. So I gotta go.
And that takes you into round 4. Pick one.
All right. So the next round, just another one of those shows that you enjoy, and you would never look at duct tape the same again after you watch this show. That's got to be MacGyver. I even enjoyed the reboot that came out in the late 2000s, a couple years ago.
I couldn't do it.
I went into the reboot with an open mind. Took it for what it was and enjoyed it. And it got me to go and pull up. I think it's Me TV would have the old shows, the ones from the 80s running. So I was watching both of them, and it was enjoyable.
Did you watch? Did you watch Quincy after that? Like,
no.
You washed it down with prune juice after watching the guy. Dude,
I did watch Matlock a lot.
I don't think I have ever seen a single episode of MacGyver.
You missed out.
What?
Nah, dude.
You definitely missed out. It was science and nerdy enough that it's up your world.
Grow up. Don't stop it. You're going to sit there live and say you've never seen an episode of MacGyver. I call bullshit.
Why would I lie about that? Like, what?
I don't know.
You also know I've never seen a single Fast and Furious movie either.
Well, that's not really something to brag. I mean, saying that you saw Fast and Furious is... Listen, nobody admits to watching Fast and the Furious. But somebody's watching it because it's worth a bazillion dollars.
David, is it blasphemy? It is 100% legitimate. I didn't think that not seeing MacGyver. I'm 45, right? Was that like supposed to be in like the handbook? I didn't know there was a requirement to watch that show.
How do you know how to use duct tape if you didn't watch MacGyver?
I don't know. I watched real men use it and not actors. I don't know.
No. It's not the same. It's not the same.
You watched Real Men. I've met your dad.
I met
Lee.
All right. Let's just say I was an inquisitive kid and I figured shit out on my own. Okay, I'm getting called out. Dave's 38. Okay. Yeah, I've never seen one, man. I was there I just always thought of it as like an old person show. I really did. Not Matlock-ish, but definitely not for me.
No, I definitely went out and mixed chemicals that I shouldn't have afterwards, thinking I was MacGyver.
Awesome. This dude's creating the next A-bomb. Listen, Keith's
accidentally
next pick,
know it.
Keith's next pick is going to be Murder, She Wrote, but he's never seen MacGyver.
For my next pick, it's Life Goes On with Corky.
Walker told me I had AIDS. Wait, what?
Geez. Okay. By the way, Life Goes On is one of my honorable mentions. It's a great show. It's a really good show. I remember watching it every single week with the
every Sunday.
Life Goes On. Yeah.
Go to your
great.
Pick. Go to your next pick.
Yeah, you're right. Here we go. For my fourth pick, I am going with The Greatest American Hero. Just a terrific concept of a show. So silly. You're pairing up a teacher, right? A guy's a teacher. finds an alien suit, puts it on, becomes a superhero, doesn't know how to work it. There's a manual,
He loses the manual
loses the manual. Great
twice.
theme song. His partner, the FBI agent, hates him but loves him at the same time. Like, it's just the whole thing is one of those so ridiculous, but you're supposed to take it seriously show. The effects are terrible, even then, on
when he
purpose.
runs into the wall and he just laying on the ground.
Terrible. But the idea is, but that's William Catt, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so good. He played that really, really well. I like him as an actor, and
I want to say Connie Salica was his love interest.
Yes.
I forget the FBI agent's name, but I know he ended it up being on Everybody Loves Raymond as Deborah's dad. He likes it because he's a teacher too. Yeah, Keith's waiting for the
suit.
he's waiting for the manual to come through. He'll just
suit.
Google how to use it.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. I'm a techie. So I picked the greatest American hero, and we take ourselves to the end of round 4, JV's 4th pick.
My pick.
Fuzzy again. We
Fuzzy.
went the wrong way.
Fuzzy. I even look. Hold on, just so you all know, I can't. It actually says F on there. Like, I really have, like, I do. I really have your name on here, man. I don't like you.
That's fine. So
stupid.
for me, I'm going with a cable show. Started on cable.
It's fine.
It was a great show. I think it came on at midnight on HBO. The Kids in the Hall.
I am crushing your head.
Crushing your head. Crushing your head.
I'm crushing your little. Wait, that head is already crushed.
I remember the first time watching that, and then I remember my mom would have friends over, and we would play gin till like 1, 2 in the morning. And the one night we were watching.
You are old.
I know, we were watching it, and it came on, and we were hysterical.
CPS?
We were hysterical laughing. And then we were like, "Oh, we're not playing cards anymore." We changed the channel, and then a Toxic Avenger came on. And I don't know if anyone's ever seen a Toxic Avenger. It's such a bad, terrific movie.
Great.
Like,
it's amazing.
Like he's literally playing basketball. He takes a villain and he fucking makes him a basketball and then dunks it. But for that is like a childhood that I actually remember. Like, the Kids in the Hall was hysterical for me.
It's a good show.
Like,
I don't have it on here, but yeah, it's a good show.
Yes,
That
is a good one, sir. That means you get to take us straight into round 5.
Oh, look at that. He remembered.
So the next one.
Tough crowd.
I want to say it came on Saturdays. I don't know if it came on Saturdays on Fox or if it was just in syndication. But it had the annoying neighbor daughter, the annoying neighbor mom.
All right, let's see if we can. Let's see if you can give descriptions and if we can figure it out. Okay.
All right. The dad worked at a factory. He had a son and a wife, and he brought his neighbor is always peeking in, and they're trying to hide something.
Oh, dude. I got it right here. It's one of my honorable mentions. So good. Oh, I got Small Wonder. Small Wonder.
She's a small wonder. Vicky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, dude.
My
Mrs. Poole.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, Mrs. Poole, don't you know?
Yeah, and I can't remember the daughter's name, but she was in love with the brother. She was always trying.
She had the scrunchy face.
Yeah. Little redheaded girl, annoying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most
gingers are.
Yeah. Very well done, dude. That was a good one.
God damn, the Flyers lost 6-1.
All right, I got 3 left, so this is the way I'm gonna do it, and I'm okay with it. I am gonna go and take this one as because I meant to do it. Pee Wee's Playhouse.
I had it in between Small Wonder and here.
It's good, dude. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Pee Wee's Playhouse. It was everything that a kid could absolutely dream of. It was ridiculously imaginative and creepy, but not scary at the same time. If that makes sense?
That's the Rob Zombie effect.
Okay. But right? It was like almost like you didn't want to turn, like he was like, this guy is so weird. He's so yeah, if you've got a van and you've got forget the candy. I'm just getting in. You seem fun.
I'll ride on the front of the bike.
Yeah, Mappy, Cherry. Wait a minute. They didn't really stretch for names here, did they?
No.
You got Cowboy Curtis was Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
Right? Like, there's some big stars that were on that before it became like, they became stars. So, yeah. All right, Pee Wee's Playhouse, and that takes Jeremy,
yes.
JV, okay, into the last pick of round 5.
All right. So this one, I'm picking the other black machine that they drove around in, transported themselves around in. All the gold you can imagine around one person's neck, and you love it when a plan comes together. The A-Team. I like where I got it too. It was a good spot, I think, for me.
So
it was just so cheesy and enjoyable, and like all the stuff they did to that van, and then the next week it was just back to normal, like perfectly normal van, like. But a week before, it's completely bulletproof and made into a tank. And that never seemed to bother BA. But somebody else touches his van and he goes nuts. So,
yeah, one of the things that always bothered me about, I think they had a rule on the show: nobody was allowed to be killed, I believe.
Right.
So obviously, it was one of those. And I'm okay with that. I'm not, I'm not mad about it. But
yeah, it was. They considered it very campy. Like it
felt campy.
Yeah, because BA's throwing people 30 yards across the
right. Yeah, I think even as a kid, I just only wanted to see what the little montage would have been of them like gearing up to like kick ass would have been.
Oh yeah,
and I think like that was about it for me when it came down to the A-Team. I don't know. I feel like I'm on thin ice with this MacGyver thing, so I don't want to talk too much shit about the A-Team here. But no, okay.
I mean, you do have a memorable experience watching the movie, because we watched one of the shittiest movies ever right before it. No, we went out the night before my wedding.
Yeah,
we watched The Karate Kid with Will Smith's kid, and it was horrendous. And then we decided as we were leaving, we're just going to go in here and watch the A-Team.
It was good.
Yeah, it was a really well done movie.
Yeah, I like the A-Team, the movie. That I liked.
Except we should have been at the bar watching the Flyers Game 7. Thanks, Patrick Keane. Hope you step on a Lego tonight.
Take us into round 6, JV.
All right, round 6. Yeah. Everybody thought they were the smartest kid in school until they started watching the show and realized they were no doctor. Dr. Doogie Howser, MD.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Thank you. We all fell in love with NPH after that, too.
Oh, yeah. Doogie Howser is one of those, like, you wanted to be, I think I wanted to be his friend. For sure. He seemed like a cool dude. I could be his friend. Yeah. Neil, if you're listening, I could still be your friend. Loved you recently in Doctor Who. I thought you were amazing in that, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome job in that.
So if you want to come on to some random dude's podcast, call us.
I
I
did
don't.
meet him one time at a Denny's in Orlando, Florida, in the year 2001.
Are you sure you're just not confusing this with like an alternate script for
No,
Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle?
I
And
am not, because there was like 10 of us sitting that went out that night, and we came back and we're like, holy shit, is that Doogie? And we're all looking, and like a couple of the girls got up and went to the bathroom to find out, and there he was. So we all, and he was cool as shit. He was probably as drunk as the rest of us,
but
but
he
was
he
cool.
does have cool Halloween costumes.
I was just about
Yeah.
to say, dude, props to him and his husband with those Halloween costumes and the kids, and they get them into it. Like they are amazing. Wasn't his husband on How I Met Your Mother as Lily's like psycho ex-boyfriend, Chip or something? That was that was really good too. That was well done. All right. Let's
That's
get
you now.
me. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to take what I consider a sketch television show that was for me. The whole premise of it broke the the third wall kind of thing, or the fourth wall. It kind of talked to us while we were watching the show. There were just certain things you couldn't even say on that show. You guys know what I'm talking about? You can't do that on television.
That was 80s?
That was 80s, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it was
That must have
80s.
been late. Was that late 80s, like 89, 88,
I think it was
89?
88. Now, like I know,
Okay.
dude, I figured for you, someone like you, living up in boonies, you wouldn't have access to Nickelodeon in the 80s like that. So, I begged my parents, I think in like 87 or so, to get it. And we finally did get it. And man, Nickelodeon was like, that was everything to me. You can't do that on television. Great sketch comedy for kids. It felt like, I think it was a Canadian show, to be honest with you, but it was televised here, and it was.
Yeah. He threw a thumbs up as he took off.
Yeah, I think it was a Canadian show. That was like it was just funny, man. The locker jokes, the slime. That's where Nickelodeon kind of got its thing. It was from You Can't Do That on Television with the slime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that takes us to the end of round 6 with Fuzzy.
So I am going with this show. It actually created a spin-off of a show. I'm going to break it down. And I'll give you a hint. Serge was in a movie.
I got it right here, dude. Done. You stop talking. It's already circled.
Perfect Strangers, man. Like, it just show was so it was so good. Like, I love yeah.
Cousin Balky.
Cousin Larry.
Yeah. Balky and Larry. This was he really? They weren't really cousins, were they? Or were they?
No, they were.
Okay, so
They were. He came from a fake country that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Okay. I always thought maybe the gimmick was he was lying to him, or they weren't cousins, but whatever. He's this guy coming to America as an immigrant. I'm going. I mean, it's total. He doesn't understand any type of sarcasm, humor, anything like that. Everything's literal, like dealing with a really annoying house guest, but they made a comedy out of it, and we all laughed at it week in, week out. It's actually not a bad one. Damn.
No, and it's like one of the shows that got away with like
The premise.
immigration jokes. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
in
Well, in the 80s, it was different.
right.
Now you just got to make him a nerdy scientist that doesn't get sarcasm, and that's how you work it out on today's shows.
Yes.
Not bad. Not bad. That means you're taking us from out of round 6 into round 7. Last round for your team. You will get honorable mentions. They could be your practice squad, whatever you'd like. However, they weren't good enough for your top 7. So why don't you take us out for the last round here?
Okay, so for my last round, for my last pick, love this show. I still watch it. It started out as a miniseries and then ran for 3 seasons. It used to come on Sci-Fi. The miniseries would come on, and I actually started taping it. I still have the VHS tapes of it.
I'm writing it down.
You don't have anything to watch them on, though.
I do not. I do not. Mark Singer was in this show.
Stand up there and watch it like this.
Written down already.
Robert Englund was in this show. Michael Ironside was in this show. And my show is V.
V.
It was, that for the 80s when it came out, that was like 1996 when the spaceships showed up on Independence Day and those big ass ships showed up. That was like, whoa.
Yeah, this is that was like the kind of like big budget. That was you said it. You originally said it. I want to reiterate it. It was originally a mini series that kind of got really popular. People loved it. People saw someone in special effects ripping off human skin, right? And there's lizard skin underneath. That's wild. We never saw that kind of practical special effects before. And here it is on TV. It's on the small screen. I think that really changed the production a lot of what was considered on TV at the time and what could be done in a series on a budget. So, good pick, dude. Very good pick.
And like what made it so good is it came on like the first miniseries came on like May. It was in like May of '83.
Yeah, it was early,
and it was 2-hour episodes, and then the final battle didn't come on until a year later.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it like really broken up? Like it was a year.
It was a year. It literally was on a Sunday, Monday.
Yeah,
and then it just ends with them spray painting the V at the end of it on a visitor, and then you're like, holy shit! And then you have to wait a year.
It's a good one, dude.
Yep.
I'm hoping my next one impresses you guys as much. I hope people here understand it. I get it. If you don't, this is very near and dear to me. With my last pick, I could have easily taken it with my first pick. I knew it was going to be there. I was not in doubt with you two morons because you wouldn't have understood the complexity of Quantum Leap. And
I knew you were going to pick it, and that's one of those shows. Didn't watch. My wife loved it.
So good, so good.
I watched episodes here and there. I was never like, oh my god, I got to sit down and watch Quantum Leap now that it's on. But like the episodes I watched, if I was there watching them, they were good. I enjoyed them.
So I was 9 years old when I got into it. So that means you would have been 8, dude. Hey. Which I think it wouldn't have. Like, you would have just. I think it was the very first serious show in my mind that I think I started watching on my own. I got my brother hooked on it, like to the point where he loved it. So, and he was older than me. So for reference, I was like 9, so my brother was 14. And he's like, "What are you watching?" Because we shared a room, and I was like, "Oh, it's a show, Quantum Leap." He goes, "What's it about?" And he watched it. And I think he saw the one episode where it looked like he was in the Kiss band, and that hooked him. My brother loved Kiss, so it was like the guy was like in that rock band type thing. So Quantum Leap is my last pick, and I am proud of it. So JV, you do get to take us out of the last round here. So don't F it up.
I probably will, because that's what I do. Now, this one is, I asked about it in our pre-production. It's one of those just fun kid type of shows. and of the 80s, that's what it should have been. That's where I was a kid. It was Muppet based, and I loved Fraggle Rock.
Down with Fraggle Rock.
Yep. And the old man, and then seeing the old man having Tourette's and cursing in Boondock Saints was just, it's the second I saw him, I'm like, it completely changed Fraggle Rock for me too. I had to watch it completely different after that.
Fraggle Rock's a
But
good one. It's on my list
yeah,
here.
when we got the Disney bundle, I tried to get Ella and Nolan into it, and just they didn't get into it as much as I did. But I loved Fraggle Rock.
It's a good one, dude. Really good. So we got Matt here. Let's go to some of these comments that we had seen here before. David did say the Good Doctor copied Doogie's storyline and character arc. Only difference, a Good Doctor has a mental disorder. Yeah, I try to watch some of the Good Doctor. And I feel like it's got the same premise. He's always right, pretty much like 99% of the time. They don't take him seriously because they think he is mentally challenged, but somehow got through medical school with a doctorate. That was okay, but we're not going to listen to this guy because he seems to get all these it's just
right. And you think after like he got a few of them right, they'd be like, oh, maybe we should listen to this guy.
Yeah.
But
I just it's tough to swallow after, like, at some point you got to realize the guy's a genius, whether you think he's awkward or not. I mean, just look over it. He's got a problem. Forget about it. Listen to what he's got to say. There shouldn't be much of a show. This should just be like, let's go see the weird one. Okay, you or me. I'll go this time. Like, that's the way the show should end. And then they just solve the case.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a problem with that with the Good Doctor. Delaney, the best Quantum Leap episode. Come on, I have a couple that I think are the best. There's the one where where he literally goes back in time and to like within his own family and does that. The Vietnam one, that was like the double leap where he goes back home. So that's always cool. You might have a different one, a specific one. But I love all of them, to be honest with you. I think that show is so good in every conceivable way. So let's go back over the list before we get into our honorable mentions. We will do 3 quick fire honorable mentions, and then we'll take ourselves out for the evening. So round 1, we've got Fuzzy. I'll just go through all of your picks. How's that sound? Here's Fuzzy picks. Fuzzy goes with his list as he takes Cheers, Married with Children, Airwolf, Kids in the Hall, Small Wonder, Perfect Strangers, V. We're going to go. Here's my list. I have Knight Rider, Night Court, Bosom Buddies, Greatest American Hero, Pee-wee's Playhouse, You Can't Do That on Television, and Quantum Leap. And we have JV rounding things out with Golden Girls, Alf, Who's the Boss, MacGyver, A-Team, Doogie Howser, Fraggle Rock. I'll start with you, JV. Are you happy with your selection?
Oh yeah, I love that. These were shows that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
The only one I didn't get that was on my list.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Was Knight Rider, but I kind of expected it, and it's nice to know that there were some that could have gone, and if I hadn't threatened you guys, my number 1 would have been gone a long time ago, right at the beginning. But glad I did not have to resort to violence, only the threat of violence, to get my number 1.
Right. This felt really authentic with you opening up with that statement. In no way did it throw off our entire narrative of the premise of a draft, but okay. Right. Fuzzy, happy?
Absolutely.
All right.
Picks were phenomenal.
Okay. If you could, you can't, but if you could, what was the one you would say you were disappointed someone else got from you?
None.
None?
No.
Okay.
I like my picks.
You like your picks, okay?
Yep.
For me, very happy with my picks. I honestly, I could have taken Golden Girls at 2. I would have lost it. Would have been a lost opportunity. I know you were going to go for it. And I'm very happy with Knight Rider as that overall number 1. The only one that I do think that I might be upset with is I waited too long on Married with Children. I did have that at number 3. I do again wish I had gotten that one, but outside of that, let's talk about honorable mentions. Fuzzy, quick fire. Give us your first one, JV, and then me, and we can comment or not comment.
Empty Nest.
Empty Nest is on here for me. Good. All right, JV.
Mine would have to be Unsolved Mysteries.
Ooh,
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 it's a good one.
that is a good one. I
That was
picked
one that flirted around. If one of my others got picked, Unsolved would have made my my 7.
Robert Stack, right?
Yeah.
My honorable mention is Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh my God.
Oh, Matt, very good. I could have picked that in top 7. It's such a good series. It's 7 seasons. It's really well done. Don't think of it as a Star Trek show. It's a very good exploratory type of show. That cast made me. I never really liked the original series. I didn't watch it. My dad loved it. I wasn't a big fan of it. But I loved Picard's crew, and thank you, Matt. That's another fine bald-headed man that's leading Starfleet. I think I could learn a thing or two. Great. So we got Star Trek, Unsolved Mysteries, and what was yours, Fuzz? I wrote it. Where did I write it?
Why am I drawing Empty Nest?
Thank
Empty
you.
Nest,
I
yeah.
do because I just crossed it out. That's why. Empty Nest. Thank you. All right. JV, go ahead. Lead us off on your next honorable mention.
The next one, The People's Court.
Judge
First
Wapner.
foray into reality TV, or what we believe is reality TV. So
Okay. Not bad. People's Court. I was more of a I'm homesick. I gotta watch this at lunchtime or with my oodles and noodles. Not like something that I kind of sought out for. But okay, People's Court.
rainy days during the summer when you're home. You're right. Sick days, all that. Yep.
Is that what it was? This the episode where he's the he goes as a mentally handicapped guy. Oh yeah, that was a crazy episode where he had to really play that out. That was Scott Bakula doing some really fine acting right there on that episode. Good call. And but they were all really good episodes, man. So yeah, that was a good call. So People's Court, Fuzzy, what's your next one?
Head of the Class.
Good one. With both Billy and Howard Heston.
Yep.
Okay. That was another show where they had to do like a quick pivot. But I guess in teaching, teachers come and go. So that made sense that the teacher had to leave. All right, I'm taking different strokes here. Could have taken different strokes in my draft, actually. I was going to swap it out for Bosom Buddies. Probably should have in hindsight. But still picking it up in the honorable mentions. That was a great show. What you talking about, Willis? And the last round of honorable mentions. Do I have mine? I do. All right, go ahead, JV.
All right. I know we joked around about this other one being an old lady or an old person's pick, but Murder, She Wrote.
Come on, man.
What? It was enjoyable. I mean, granted, it was just pretty much the same storyline each time, but it was just, you get in from playing sports or playing outside with your friends all day. You go in, and it was a good mind numbing. Didn't have to think much. and you could easily pick out who the bad guy was.
You know, The Wonderful World of Disney was on Channel 6, right? Or ABC.
Didn't have Channel 6.
Magical World of Disney. Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah. You could have probably watched 3-2-1 Contact. You could have watched
21 Drum Street. Like, I just
Electric Company.
No,
There was anything you could have watched from coming in, playing with the boys. So you're telling me after roughing it up with the boys and having a sweaty session,
you're gonna watch Mrs. Potts.
You thought, let's go in and watch Angela Lansbury. That'll really get my synapses firing.
Never said the synapses firing. It would calm them down. It was soothing. Brought me down and relaxed before bed.
You're stupid.
Don't hate. Don't be jealous.
So stupid. My God. Fuzzy, what do you got for a better honorable? You could have look here. I'm gonna give you here. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Too Close for Comfort.
I wasn't a fan.
What?
I know. I watched it.
It's fucking better than Murder, She Wrote.
Too Close for Comfort.
No,
That's
not.
the guy with he was Prince Valiant, right? From Valium from Spaceballs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the one daughter, I believe, was an Empty Nest.
Yes.
And obviously Ted Knight.
So I'm not gonna do this. Like I had like a 3-way tie. What am I gonna do? But I will tell you, it came up between these two as my last honorable mention. Okay, the first one was Double Dare. I mean, that is what you came in from hanging out with the boys, and you're like, I'm gonna watch someone throw themselves into a pit of whipped cream to find a flag and almost try to break their neck doing it.
Again, didn't have Nickelodeon until the 90s. So that to me is a 90s show.
And that's why, right. And I also know that the popularity of it, and it got really, really elevated in its production value. But some of the early Double Dare is seriously like a walking OSHA hazard. Like there is no way they got someone to walk. It reminds me of Scrooge when they're talking about stapling the antlers to the head type thing. Someone's like, yeah, go ahead. Oh, you're gonna put a kid into that vice grip? Sure, whatever. What could go wrong? I'm going with Sledgehammer. David Rash, one of those shows that has no business being at the end of the first season. They were so convinced they were going to get canceled, they blow up the world. And they ended on that, and the network's like, yeah, we want another season. And then they go, this is how they do it. This is how they bring back the second season 6 months earlier. And then they just start the series, it's just stories again. The show was so bad in its own sense that it was good. It was supposed to be kind of like a new take on Police Squad. This is just a Dirty Harry Police Squad type of character. Did you guys ever see it?
Yeah.
I know you did, bud. I don't think JV ever saw Sledgehammer. I might send you a few Sledgehammer clips to get acquainted. Anything on here that we got quite a few people listening. We really appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Got Ted Knight. Was that a 80s show?
It's Too Close for Comfort.
No, I'm saying like was he was Mary Tyler Moore 70s or 80s?
70s.
70s.
It was the 70s. Did it run into the 80s or not?
Yep.
It did.
So,
okay.
yeah.
So I always get that confused that show ran over like that. And Carol Burnett did too, right?
Yeah, and you got to remember, Mama's Family came from that.
Mama's Family, and then Valerie came from that, right? Yeah, there was a lot of spinoff from Mary Tyler Moore, right?
And then, I'm going to give you It's a Living. That's another one. I don't know if anybody ever watched that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't think of it, but you brought it up. what was the TV show? I want to say it came out in 88 to 89
Okay.
that all the contestants wore British Knights.
Guts.
I don't know.
It might have been Guts.
Yeah,
Guts. It might have been
I,
Guts.
I think it was on Fox. And then my last,
That would have been, that's not Guts. Then.
No. If it's Fox, it's not Guts.
no, and then
Are
my
you talking
last
about?
honorable mention is
Mhm.
American Gladiators.
That's a good one, dude. That is a
Yeah.
good one.
That was another one though I didn't watch. Like I debated on when I was doing it. Is this like even though it started in '89, really didn't get into it until the '90s. So I was like confused on where to put it. Like I didn't really know
What
where to
about
put it.
this?
But
What are your thoughts of Amazing Stories? Did you guys watch that?
no.
That was a Steven Spielberg thing where every week was a different story. That was really cool. I think it was only on for a few seasons, but they used a lot of ILM and Henson Workshop stuff to
No,
really do the special effects. It was a really good show.
it was called Fun. It was called Funhouse.
Funhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about the Charmings? That was like a take on Prince Charming and Snow White. No,
Yeah.
is it
Cinderella.
Cinderella? Prince Charming and Cinderella. It was like a modern take on it. It was Darcy from Married with Children was Prince Charming.
I don't remember. I feel like I don't remember that, but I do.
Yeah, Marcy Darcy. Here's one I had. It's Gary Shandling's show. Did you guys watch that?
Yes.
I loved
I caught a
Gary
few
Shandling show.
episodes. Never really watched it, but
Very fourth wall breaking too, and I like that kind of humor. And I got that when I was younger. That was really cool, where he would just stop.
Yeah, because it was on Fox, and then I think it came on, and then Herman's Head came on after it,
Yep,
where it came on before it.
yep. Herman's Head was a good one. Ooh,
But that's 90s.
Herman's Head.
where would you? Oh, I guess it was probably started much before, but like I remember really watching the WWF in the '80s. Like that was my era of watching wrestling. But I don't know. I guess because it was it really a national thing in the '70s, or was it still regionalized to where you would count what they did in the '80s as it launching in the '80s? You know what I mean?
It really depends because from what I remember, and it was in the 80s. I know this for a fact. That the Saturday Night Main Event started in the 80s and it ran for a couple years. That's how I remember JYD. All that I used to go.
Yep.
My uncle used to get Spectrum. He used to get me tickets to the Spectrum. So JYD was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And I can't believe that this one show didn't make it. I'm surprised. I would have thought Jeremy would have picked it.
Moonlighting. Yeah.
No, nope.
oh.
No one has said it.
Well, hold on. I got a couple
me-
more on here.
Give me more of what you thought I would have picked. Like,
No, I don't think I have anything on here that he would have picked. I have Punky Brewster still, Remote Control, Silver Spoons, and that was it, pretty much. WKRP in Cincinnati, but I chalked that because I realized I really didn't even like it.
And it was in the 70s anyway.
Nah, it was the 80s.
WKRP?
Uh-huh.
here we go.
You might be right.
Yeah.
WKRP in Cincinnati. IMDb has it as 1978.
1978.
Wow. Oh, shit. All right.
All
It
right,
was older than I thought. Maybe I was watching way more in syndication of that than I thought. Jesus.
So let's see how I can give you a hint. All right, he was a sportscaster.
Holy crap.
No.
Hold on. I totally missed it. So, sportscaster is the premise of the show?
No. He was a sportscaster.
Okay.
He then moved to a morning show.
In the 80s?
Mm-hmm. His co-host was a female. His brother-in-law married his co-host. His best friend
Full
played
House wasn't from
hockey.
the 80s?
He sure was. It came out in 1987.
What is it?
Oh my God. Full House.
Full House.
Wasn't crazy about Full House.
I didn't realize it was 87. I had that as a 90s show.
I watched it all.
What?
No, hold on. It was always on in my house. I did. I
Because you
watched
turned it on.
No. Here's the deal. I didn't quite. So the thing about Full House was, I thought Danny Tanner was so annoying as a dad. I did not like him. And then
You saw
then
stand up.
and then I saw Bob Saget's stand up when I was like maybe like God, I must have been like 11 or 12. And I'm like, this is the funniest home videos guy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's filthy. And I did watch Full House from that kind of point forward, giggling to myself the whole time, knowing Bob Saget was playing this wholesome, really annoying, great character of a dad, and his stand-up was so filthy.
Marijuana is not a drug.
Right, and he was in Half Baked, and it's like it's just one of those things that it was such a weird casting, but I didn't know it was a weird casting until after I saw it, and then I then started watching Full House. Matt brought up Roseanne, so we did not say that. Was that Roseanne one of your favorites at all? That was 88, wasn't it?
Yeah, Roseanne for me was a show my mom loved. So she made sure it was on. It was like we had no choice but to watch it because we only had one TV in the entire house. So that's what I remember of Roseanne. It was just kind of on, so I respect it, but it wasn't one of my top shows.
It was not. It was also one of my parents' favorites. They liked it. So Roseanne started making me cringe at some point, and I stopped watching it as a kid. I was like, man, I thought this was like a sitcom, and it's supposed to make me laugh, and we're talking about like them losing jobs, and it's sad.
Yeah,
and
it got real serious on stuff. Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't tune in for that. And so I think it was like the old bait and switch where it was like, all, humor, like Married with Children, and started out like as that comedy sitcom, turned into like a little serious, more they try to be more. I didn't love it.
The other one I got stuck watching a lot was Highway to Heaven.
Nah, I'll never put that on here, dude.
I didn't say it should be on the list. I was just stuck watching it a lot.
Yeah, same it was on in my house, but no. Boys, this was really good. We were all happy with our list. I don't feel like we ruined any Bob Saget.
Ruin any lives.
Yeah. Bob Saget's famous line in Half Baked. So that was the dad from Full House who uttered that, and wow. What is our next show topic? Do we have it? Do you guys want it? Does someone here would like to pick it? I have a million ideas. You know that.
Do you just want to keep rolling through the 90s or 90s, break off onto something else? 90s TV.
Ooh. Do we have any suggestions from the I seen them? Such a quotable movie. God, that whole scene alone is a very quotable scene. My name is Thurgood. Hello, Thurgood. So do we have any any suggestions? So we can go 90s TV shows.
Might as well keep up the trend and do 90s TV shows.
Love it. Okay, we're gonna go 7 rounds, 3 honorables.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, beautiful. Boys, as always, this was a pleasure. Go Birds, right? Is there
Go
anything more to say on that? Okay.
It sucks for the Giants. Sorry, Giants. Not really.
No.
Sorry,
No,
not
we're
sorry.
just this is like
Don't be dumb.
when you buy like a really expensive, like, I don't know, car, and you don't know how to drive it, so you just leave it in your lot and you let it collect dust. No, you drive that car, you let that car do the things it was designed to do, and you show off that car. That's what you do with a talent like Saquon Barkley. And the Giants never did that. And I just realized I objectified Saquon Barkley. I did not mean to do that. But my point is, you don't keep a Ferrari in the garage. That man was born to do that. He is good at what he does. He knows the field. He knows how to read a field. He knows how to cut through a field and make people look stupid on a field. Let him do that on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I got nothing else. I'm with you.
All right, boys. Take us on out, JV.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you guys had an enjoyable time. Come and see us again in 2 weeks when we do the 90s TV shows. For Keith, Fuzzy, and myself, this has been the Northeast Philly podcast, brought to you by the Council of Dads production. Have a good night.
Peace.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of